Bully is a gripping and intense drama directed by Larry Clark, based on true events. The film delves deep into the lives of a group of teenagers in South Florida who take drastic measures to stop the incessant bullying by one of their peers, Bobby Kent. The story begins with a glimpse into the life of Marty Puccio, a high school student living a seemingly ordinary life. However, Marty is living under the oppressive shadow of his best friend, Bobby Kent. Bobby, a charismatic but sadistic and violent young man, has a long history of physically and emotionally abusing Marty. Despite their apparent friendship, Bobby constantly humiliates and torments Marty, exerting a toxic influence over him. Marty's life takes a turn when he meets Lisa Connolly, a new girl in town. The two quickly form a romantic relationship, and Lisa becomes aware of the abuse Marty endures at the hands of Bobby. Disturbed by the brutality and determined to protect Marty, Lisa suggests a radical solution. They need to get rid of Bobby permanently. Lisa's suggestion to eliminate Bobby starts as a desperate idea, but soon turns into a concrete plan. The couple recruits their friends to help them execute the plan. Donnie Semenek, another victim of Bobby's bullying, joins them, along with Heather Swallers, Lisa's friend, and Derek Zverko, who claims to have connections to the criminal underworld. They also involve Ali Willis, Marty's friend, who has witnessed Bobby's violence firsthand. The plan is set into motion when the group decides to lure Bobby into a trap. They invite him to a remote area under the pretense of a night out by the canal. Once there, the situation quickly escalates. Fueled by years of pent-up anger and fear, the teenagers brutally attack Bobby. Initially, the attack involves a severe beating, but as the violence intensifies, they ultimately stab him to death. It's a moment of chaos and horror as the teenagers, driven by a mix of adrenaline, fear, and misguided determination, commit a gruesome murder. After the murder, the group is overwhelmed with the reality of their actions. They attempt to cover up the crime by disposing of Bobby's body in the canal. However, their naivety and lack of experience soon become evident. They leave behind a trail of evidence that quickly leads the authorities to them. The community is shocked as the news of the murder spreads, and the police swiftly piece together the events of that fateful night. The film then shifts to the aftermath of the crime. Each member of the group is arrested and charged with murder. The legal proceedings that follow are intense and emotional. The teenagers, who once seemed so close-knit, turn on each other under the pressure of their trials. The courtroom scenes are filled with tension as the prosecutors present their case, painting a detailed picture of the conspiracy and the brutal execution of their plan. Marty, Lisa, Donnie, Heather, and Derek each face different levels of culpability and consequently receive varying sentences. Marty, as the primary instigator, receives the harshest penalty, while others, like Heather, who played a less direct role, receive lighter sentences. The film portrays the devastating impact of their actions not only on themselves, but also on their families and the broader community. Bully is a harrowing exploration of the consequences of unchecked violence and the extreme measures people might take when pushed to their limits. The film doesn't shy away from depicting the brutal reality of the teenagers' actions and the profound impact it has on everyone involved. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of addressing bullying and violence early on, highlighting the need for intervention from parents, teachers, and the community to prevent such tragedies. The story of Marty and his friends is a tragic tale of misguided loyalty, desperation, and the catastrophic results of taking justice into one's own hands. Bully leaves the audience with a deep sense of unease and reflection on the darker aspects of human nature and the societal structures that can sometimes fail to protect the vulnerable. The film also touches on the psychological aspects of bullying and the long-term effects it can have on victims. Marty's gradual descent into a state of hopelessness and his eventual willingness to resort to murder underscore the severe psychological trauma inflicted by prolonged abuse. The movie also delves into the dynamics of peer pressure and the influence of toxic friendships, showcasing how easily individuals can be swayed into making disastrous decisions. The character of Bobby Kent is portrayed as the quintessential bully whose aggressive behavior masks deeper personal issues. His manipulative and controlling nature reveals a complex and troubled individual, adding layers to the narrative. The film explores how Bobby's own insecurities and possibly abusive upbringing may have contributed to his violent tendencies. This depiction serves to underscore the cyclical nature of abuse and how victims can sometimes become perpetrators. The relationships among the teenagers are depicted with a raw and unflinching honesty. Lisa Connolly's character, for instance, is shown as a deeply troubled young woman seeking love and validation. Her relationship with Marty is her escape from a dysfunctional family life, but it also propels her into the dangerous scheme against Bobby. Her desperation to protect Marty and assert control over her own life drives much of the plot. Donnie Semenek and Heather Swallers, too, are portrayed as complex characters shaped by their environments. Donnie, who suffers from low self-esteem and has also been bullied by Bobby, finds a sense of purpose in the plot against him. Heather, on the other hand, appears more naive and easily influenced, illustrating how impressionable young minds can be drawn into actions that have dire consequences. Derek Zverko's involvement highlights the misguided belief in bravado and criminal know-how that some teenagers develop. His overconfidence in handling the situation adds a layer of irony and tragedy to the story, as it quickly becomes apparent that none of them fully understand the gravity of what they are planning. The aftermath of the murder is depicted with an emphasis on the disintegration of relationships and the psychological toll on the perpetrators. As the reality of their actions sets in, the teenagers grapple with guilt, fear, and paranoia. Their initial unity crumbles under the pressure of police interrogations and the looming prospect of life-changing legal consequences. The courtroom scenes are particularly powerful, showcasing the stark contrast between the teenagers' youthful appearances and the serious nature of their crimes. The legal proceedings delve into the motivations behind the murder, the influence of peer pressure, and the failure of adults to intervene in a timely manner. These scenes serve as a sobering reminder of the complexities involved in administering justice to minors who commit serious crimes. Bully ultimately serves as a cautionary tale about the devastating impact of bullying and the extreme lengths to which victims might go to escape their tormentors. The film calls for a deeper understanding of the causes of bullying and the importance of supportive interventions to prevent such tragedies. It also raises critical questions about the role of parents, educators, and the community in recognizing and addressing signs of distress among young people. The film concludes on a somber note, reflecting on the irreversible consequences of violence and the shattered lives left in its wake. The characters, once ordinary teenagers with hopes and dreams, find themselves caught in a web of legal battles and emotional scars that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. Bully leaves viewers with a profound sense of the fragility of human life and the urgent need for compassion and understanding in dealing with the complex issue of bullying. In summary, Bully is a powerful and disturbing film that offers a raw and unfiltered look at the devastating consequences of bullying and violence. Through its portrayal of real-life events, it challenges viewers to consider the impact of their actions on others and the importance of empathy and intervention in preventing such tragedy. The film is a compelling call to action for society to address and combat the root causes of bullying and to support those who suffer from its effects.